Okay, I motion to appoint Trustee Coleman as Mayor Pro Tem for the emergency meeting on December 19, 2024, at 11 a.m.
Second.
It's been so moved. It's been moved in second. Can we call the roll for?
You want to appoint me as village clerk?
Oh yeah. Oh, at the same time,
Ask me to be a village clerk.
I'm asking that motion that Trustee Williams be appointed clerk pro tem for this meeting.
So moved.
It's been moved in second that myself has been appointed as Mayor pro tem and Trustee Williams be appointed clerk pro tem.
Okay, I'll take the roll call.
Okay, would you take the roll call?
Yes, please. Trustee Burns.
Here.
Trustee Sauk. Here. Trustee Williams here. We're doing the appointment right now before we do the roll call, but on this vote, are you saying yes to appointing us in the position?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee
And Trustee Coleman, yes.
Okay.
Motion carried. Next, we have the motion to, or do we need, Madam Clerk, do we need to be voted on as clerk now?
No, didn't you do that as a dual motion, or do
Yes,
you want to
I
do it as okay? Because I've already taken the call, so
Okay.
you can do the roll call now.
Okay, meeting, call the meeting now to order. We'll do the roll call. Madam Clerk, will you please do the roll call?
Trustee Burns.
Here.
Trustee Sapp. Here. Trustee Williams here. Trustee Coleman. Mayor Pro Tem Coleman.
Yes, here. Item 3 is public comment. Now the meeting is open for public comment. Those who wish to, all questions and comments must be directed to the Mayor Pro Tem. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment. Each speaker will be allowed one opportunity to speak on agenda items only.
There is a mic. If somebody, the first one up there, would please turn the mic on. State your name, and you have 3 minutes to respond to agenda items only.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Stephen Mack.
Could you speak up a little louder, please, sir?
My name is Stephen Mack. I'm CEO of AIC Technology. And we're on the agenda for accounts payable. But I would like to make some comments and some statements regarding our services here at Sauk Village. Basically, I'm going to read. AIC was asked to respond to an SB, Sauk Village IT RFP by Ms. Sonia Douglas, who was married to a distant cousin of mine, Mr. Alfred Brown.
Speaking of my certificate.
Here, I'll let you start over because we couldn't really hear you. So I'm going to let you start over, sir. Okay, go ahead.
AIC was asked to respond to Sauk Village IT RFP by Sonia Douglas, who was married to a distant cousin of mine, Alfred Brown. AIC responded to the RFP and was ultimately awarded the contract. AIC began work on or about March 27, 2024 in terms of our initial scope and assessment of what would be required to provide IT managed services and to update the Sauk Village IT network infrastructure. AIC proposed to provide these services in a vendor-neutral environment. We provided a consultative IT proposal to the prior village administrator, Mr. Timothy Williams, on or around February of 2024. Shortly thereafter, the current village administrator, Kim Johnson, came on board and he began to work with AIC as our point of contact on the managed services and proposed comprehensive IT upgrade project. He promptly asked AIC to provide 3 IT solutions that he would evaluate on behalf of the village. Therefore, he selected the solution and we began to work and deploy these solutions in phases. We conducted the work that was in scope with AIC's proposal throughout the summer months until our contract was abruptly canceled with a proposed termination date of August 15, 2024, with an order to conclude providing IT services as of September 15th. Subsequent to that letter, which we received from the Board of Trustees, we met with Mayor Burgess, and I was informed to ignore the termination letter to continue to provide IT services.
One more minute.
On an emergency basis. We agreed to continue providing these services after the termination date because of the state of the network was not in a stable operational state, and we were informed to continue to work with the expectation that we would get paid for the work being done. And Sauk Village is still pending upgrades from third-party municipal parties, of which AIC was appointed as the point of contact. Critical upgrades have yet to be done, but at some point, others, particularly Ms. Sonia Douglas, started to get involved with our day-to-day activities. For some reason, and began to try to direct our work, some of which was beyond the termination date. And so in the interim, our invoices have not been paid, and after many discussions with the mayor, Ms. Douglas, and the finance director, AIC took the decision to stand down as a result, and I was informed that we're not going to conduct any further business until our past invoices were in fact paid.
Time. Sorry. If you want to submit that report, I can put it with the minutes. If you were not able to finish, I'm sorry. The limit is 3 minutes. Yes, absolutely. If he states his name, he has 3 minutes as well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Victor Tremwell. I am the CIO of AIC Technologies and the lead network administrator. Let me see exactly where he goes. All right, I'll where he left off at. Frankly, the only person that tried to assist is Mr. Ken Johnson. He's the only person here that understands IT was uniquely qualified to manage AIC's work and move it going forward. Police Chief Malcolm White has direct knowledge and appreciation for the work AIC has done on behalf of Sauk Village Police Department. The biggest issue that we encountered during the later stages of our work was Sonia Douglas, Melanie, and getting involved in our day-to-day activities in addition to our very unprofessional, rude, and even accusing me to standard.
Can you speak up a little more? Sorry.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Even accused AIC of using unstandard equipment and building out the solution for the village hall, PD, Public Works, and Fire Department, which none are true. She would reiterate AIC time and time again, phone, via text, cursing for no reason. Additionally, AIC have actual text message that she sent to AIC stating that he should give Alpha Brown a fee for getting AIC the managed services contract and will be more than happy to provide. From AIC perspective, she conducts herself as if she is the mayor and is involved in everything that has business to be done, involved with the fact that she is no longer employed by Sauk Village. And the fact she is suing the village, this is a true conflict of interest to the village, and AIC would not allow her to be involved in any work that we have done in the village moving forward. We completed the cutover of AT&T 1 gigabit high-speed network October 30th, 2024. Stood down and turned up our turned in our fob and network room keys. However, there are still more important work that the village needs to be completed. And to interim up to the migration to AT&T, I want to make it clear that the mayor and Sonia Douglas requested to continue work on critical IT projects such as the HVAC controller, the cameras. They were informed that AIC would get paid for the work that is despite AIC contract being terminated. What else right here? Clearly, AIC relied on these representations by the mayor and Douglas to determine, because we have not been paid to the date the work was in scope. And for the work the mayor asked us to do, our determination date is clearly led to believe that we will be paid. The police department is still in need of critical service effective computer upgrades for continuing of successful operations of detectives, officers, and records. At this stage, I was asked to come here today to answer questions by the bots, and I wanted to personally get the facts formally on the record such I have today. Finally, I would be more happy to answer further questions. Anything else?
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
David Fields. First, I would like to ask you, what constitutes this emergency meeting? Secondly, I'd like to know, I've heard Trustee Burns and Williams say over and over and over again they've raised total hell about this, about invoices. How are you expected to pay somebody if they don't have an invoice? I'm looking down here on this agenda where you got John Howard, $36,400. Where's the invoice? After all, it can't be a two-sided head coin. This is words that come out of you all's mouth about these invoices. Yet you want to sit up here and pay somebody. Thirdly, I'd like to know who hired John Howard. He wasn't hired by the village. So to my knowledge, he was hired by the trustees, board of trustees.
That's the village.
So if that is true, they should be the ones paying him, not the village. It should be coming out of our pocket. It should be coming out of your own pocket. After all, he's answering to you all, and he's not answering to the other two trustees. So I feel that that's an unbiased opinion. So, you're talking about Anthony Fent. If things is right, the money came missing up under his administration. Now you want to bring it back here with a personal vendetta? Something is wrong. And it's like I said, I don't care where you sit at in this fraternity.
1
here.
minute.
It affects everybody in here that lives here in this village. These decisions that you all are making affects everybody here. But there's an old saying: what you put out, what you gonna get back.
Thank you. Next. Anyone?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Can you speak up into the mic?
Yes, can you hear me?
You can take the mic out of the holder and put it up here.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, Mr. Mayor, I would just wanted to be recorded that my name is Darren Mailer with DMC Contractors, and that we are in attendance at this meeting to go over any invoices. We have submitted invoices for all of our work, and we have given a running statement for our work. And we just would like to know when we would be paid for putting in the sidewalks, curbs, sewer, gutters, and everything else with the village. Thank you.
John Howard, Inspector General, Sauk Village. I'm going to give my phone number again for anyone that wants to call, ask questions, and I'm going to direct people to go to the website. The 24-hour number, again, 708-888-0317. If you have any complaints or issues that you witnessed, call the number. Go to the website. The website is saukvillageoig.org. Go to that site, fill out a form, someone's going to call. It's a 24-hour number. Now, I'm going to go back again. The corporate authorities approved me to be here as Inspector General back in August. And it's a repetitive thing, but I keep saying the same thing. I was approved, ratified, or whatever you want to say back then. And that part's over. If you want to know, ask questions. Anyone coming into this village as a contractor, anyone that's an existing employee or staff in this village, I will be interviewing you. I will give you an opportunity to talk to me. This village is not as for the computer systems here, this is not an enterprise environment like the University of Chicago or the University of Illinois hospitals. It's not an enterprise environment. There's no more than 26 computers here that I counted. So I'm not going to stay on that further, but it's not an enterprise environment. And I would question some of those invoices that were submitted for 2 weeks, a 2-week period for $18,000 or $13,000 with no on-site support. Now, the other thing that's going on here, people that are, again, I'm going to publish records on the website. When I'm done with my report, it's going to be published. And the people who have violent criminal records, it's going to be there. If you're running for office, it's going to be there. If you're part of the village, it's going to be published. I am going to investigate, and I'm going to find out the truth. You have right now Carter, I believe. Yeah, Carter, it's a trustee, has a criminal record. And I would think that, you know, things like this would go on in Orland Park, Oak Brook Terrace, Homewood. You're supposed to be proud of the people who's running your village. You want to know that they have a clean background and they don't have a violent history. But you have 2 people there that have a violent history that even goes back to 2023. You have Trustee Johnson that's been involved in altercations.
1 minute.
I'm sorry, how many minutes?
1 minute.
Okay, so I'm going to just make this short. I'm here to stay, and I am coming for everyone. Those reports are going to be submitted to the Attorney General's office, as well as other offices. So don't get comfortable. I will give you an opportunity to talk to me directly. If anyone has any questions while I am here about anything, I am here. Ask me directly. I'm here. It's not personal. I've made myself available. I am available for the last time. I am available to everyone. So yes, there's going to be investigations. Now that the doors are wide open for me, the employees have a duty to cooperate with me. If not, they'll be subject to termination. And that is part of the ordinance that has already been passed. So any further questions, I'm right here.
Time.
Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. All right. I'm just gonna.
Hold on 1 second, please. Ready?
Yep. David Schmidt, resident. First and foremost, I just want to state for the record, according to the Illinois Open Meeting Act, 5 ILCS 120, if this is true indeed an emergency meeting, The presiding officer must state the nature of the emergency at the beginning of the meeting. If you think I'm lying, ask your attorney to look it up. I'm pretty sure he'll validate that. This does not fall under the statutes or the requirements of an emergency meeting. There has been no emergency declaration made by either the mayor, any county official, or any state official. Therefore, it would fall under it's basically a special call meeting. And because you all failed to notify the public and yourself within 48 hours, this is an illegal meeting. Just wanted to put that out there for the record. Second,
1 minute.
I think it's very kind of suspect that the finance department has been given no invoices on Mr. Howard, but you all have them. How does that work? Invoices are supposed to be submitted to the finance department. And finally, Mr. Howard is operating outside of the scope of his contract, and I would warn him that trying to influence an election in any way, shape, or form can be prosecuted by law. He has no business investigating candidates or sitting trustees. And if their record doesn't fall under the premise of anything that would disqualify them from holding office, it's irrelevant. And it served no purpose other than try to influence the election, which again is illegal. And ask your attorney if you think I'm lying, and he'll validate that.
Time. Ready when you are.
Jeffrey Burns, resident, board member 168. I have comments and questions. Actually, to me, it's amazing how non-employees of the village get up here and make statements pertaining to village employees. So I would like to know, one, personally, how does Mr. Smith would even know if Renee Lewis didn't receive invoices? One. Two, you are elected officials, so I believe you can answer that you are the village, which would be another one of my questions. Are you the village?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, the gentleman who got up here and stated DMC had constantly said he turned in invoices and those invoices went unanswered. But again, they're not concerned with the backdoor dealer that the gentleman stated that Dante and the mayor was involved in with DMC, and which was made public knowledge. But they're not concerned with that. So, and the term is called "you're gonna reap what you sow." For one, and for two, if you are a felon and you are sitting on this board, that's a direct conflict of being on the board, and you will be removed from office, like another trustee had to step down when they made public he was a felon. So again, my question remains, who's responsible for the audit? Because I never get that answer on Tuesday. Who's responsible for the bank recs? Who's responsible for putting the budget together? And who does those people answer to? And I still would like to know if you guys have a copy of the so-called budget that's being presented now when we didn't have a previous budget. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I guess that would be me. I just came in and asked a question. I didn't even know the meeting was going on. Does anybody know why our taxes are shot up? Speaking too much and understand.
You got to state your name, and you have 3 minutes to talk, and it's on agenda items only because it's an emergency meeting.
I don't know if this is on your agenda. I just got my taxes and it went up $1,000, and I was wondering if the village knew why.
What was your name, ma'am?
Karen Lorenz, I live 2041, 219th Street, Sauk Village.
If you'd like to leave your information at the front desk, I believe the mayor is in right now, because this is a special meeting, and we have an agenda on the back of the table that we're addressing specific items today. But please leave your information with the front desk. Hopefully you'll get a call back soon. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Pro Tem, the legislative attorney would like to speak at this time.
Please.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hear me?
Take it out. Attorney, can you hold the mic in your hand?
I'm going to lean into it because it's easier, okay? I just have some notes to look at. Good morning, everyone, including the public that came out today. I would like to explain why we're here today for this emergency meeting. And it all goes back to what's been going on here at the Village of Sauk Village. The public may know or may not know, but the trustees that are present certainly know that a lawsuit was filed approximately 2 weeks ago. The lawsuit is captioned Aretha Burns, Arnold Coleman, Diane Sapp, and Debbie Williams as trustees versus Vivian Jones and Derek Burgess. Case number is 2024-CH10410. It was filed in the Circuit Court of Cook County in the Chancery Division. The complaint came along with a motion for seeking a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction. Essentially, the lawsuit was filed to allow the board members and the two consultants, the Inspector General and the Internal Auditor, both positions that were created by this board, both positions that have been filled by this board, and those individuals have not been able to have access, as you know, to the Village Hall, to the financial records, to any of the village documents. They have been thwarted and not been able to perform their duties as they've been hired to do. Likewise, under the Illinois Municipal Code, you as trustees have complete access, or should have complete access and privy to all financial records and documents of the village. As stated, the motion and the complaint were filed about 2 weeks ago. We got as early of a date as possible as we could. We were in front of a judge the week before last week, and we sought a hearing for the TRO at that time. On that date, Ms. Jones appeared, and Mayor Burgess appeared through his attorney, Ricardo Meza, who you may recall was appointed a couple of weeks ago as the interim village attorney, but he resigned or withdrew from that position less than 24 hours later. In any event, he has now filed an appearance on behalf of Mayor Burgess and requested time to respond to the TRO motion. The judge gave a very short date, set a briefing schedule for Mr. Meza to file a response to the TRO. Last week, I believe it was Wednesday or Thursday, he filed a motion to dismiss. He did not file any pleading or any documentation to contest the restraining order that was set for hearing this past Tuesday. When we appeared in court, the judge advised everyone there that she was not going to entertain any motion to dismiss or any other motions because that had not been noticed up. It was not up to be heard on that date. What was up is the hearing for the TRO, temporary restraining order. I, on behalf of the trustees, advised the court that we were ready to proceed. We were fully prepared based upon what we had filed, and that was a verified complaint along with the motion. At that point, counsel and Ms. Jones were asked by the judge, is there any way we can attempt to work this out today to do some sort of an agreed order? That way we would not have to do the hearing because you just never know how hearings are going to go. You don't know who's going to prevail or how the judge is going to rule, and judges typically do that. We went back and forth about what could be worked out, and the judge asked me point blank, what does what does your client want? And I told the judge, they are simply looking to get access to look at the village financial records, the documents that they're entitled to see, along with their consultants, who are also entitled to see the same documents. We went back and forth, and it turned out that Attorney Meza, after speaking with the mayor, and Ms. Jones said she really had no input on that because she is now, that she's employed as a senior accountant. In any event, it was agreed that the board members and the two consultants would be able to get access and review all the village's financials, the computer system, in a view-only or read-only type of a setting. There's obviously some concerns that former employees or outside consultants, if they had the ability or opportunity, there may be tinkering with the dollars, moving decimals, or possibly just changing the financial records that are there. And I clearly stated to the judge that that's not the purpose of why they were hired. That's not what the trustees want to do. That none of the trustees are accountants or financial people. They just want to see where the money is, what's being spent, what's not being spent, what's been transferred for all the accounts. It's just that simple. It was then brought out by Ms. Jones that while there might be some issues with reviewing or seeing the computer system in my viewpoint, or read-only access, that there is 6 licenses and that only 2 are being used, and each license is $1,000 or $1,500, none of which I knew about. So we took a couple breaks and made some phone calls. And then Attorney Meza came back in and said that, one, the board fired the IT company. 2, that there needs to be an IT company to trigger or reinstall the viewpoint access for anyone other than Ms. Jones and people that are currently in the village. That it would cost $1,000, $1,500, and that item would have to be approved by the corporate authorities before we could move forward. I advised the judge that that could actually be taken care of by consensus and then approved at a later meeting. I also explained to the judge that I viewed this as a very emergency situation. The purpose and the reason why I said it's an emergency situation, and all this is court reported, and I know you guys are having electoral board hearings later this afternoon. Same court reporter. She can pull up the transcript if you want. Yes. I don't know if you want to order the transcript. It's, it can be expensive, but she was there. It's transcribed. So I went through with the court and stated the reasons why it was an emergency. But what I showed the court and explained to the court why it was an emergency, besides everything that's going on in the village and that the trustees do not have the financial records, I stated that there's contractors, a couple of them are here today, that have not been paid, that there may be litigation, that it's been explained what's been going on at village board meetings and nothing's taken place. But more importantly, I brought out 2 recent letters that the mayor, Renee Lewis, and all the trustees were sent by the state of Illinois. And these 2 letters were received after I had filed the complaint and motion for TRO, but I wanted the judge to know what was going on. I explained that on November 19th, the Illinois comptroller, Susan Mendoza, sent a notice of forced audit to the village. All the trustees, everyone was copied on it, and it's in relation to the village not having any audits done for the last 3.5 years and going into the next year. And that the state of Illinois is going to bring in a company to do this forced audit at the village's expense. No one's getting anything for free. And I explained to Attorney Meza, even if that's done, there still has to be a lot of legwork done by the village, such as bank reconciliations, getting documents, and making sure they're all in line, because auditors can't work unless that's all in line. They'll come here and they won't be able to do anything, which will be additional cost to the village. But the letter from Ms. Mendoza dated November 19th gave the village until Tuesday, December 17th at 11:59 p.m. a deadline of reporting what the village is going to do. Give an explanation why the audits weren't performed and how they're going to come into compliance, and if not, then we're bringing in our own people. That deadline was at midnight of the court date when I was just in court on Tuesday. I view that, based upon our representation of many, many municipalities, the state just not issue this type of a letter routinely. This is an emergency situation. Recently, the village also received a letter from the Illinois Department of Transportation, IDOT. This letter is dated December 3rd of 2024, and it is 4 pages long and lists out by this investigator from IDOT on all the lack of follow-through and communications from the mayor and his administration. And it gives all the dates when the state was looking for all kinds of documentation and none of it was turned over. And so now IDOT is going to do their own audit to question where the MFT funds were spent, if they were improperly spent, and if they were. The penalty is that the village of Sauk Village will be out hundreds of thousands of dollars for up to the next 7 years. This is money that the village needs. This is the money that goes towards street repairs and sidewalk repairs. It comes out of its tax revenue that the state gives to all communities. And for this village to miss out on those funds because they didn't report back to the state, and there's probably 10 different dates and attempts to set up meetings, and there's absolutely no response from the mayor or former public works director, James, or the staff here at the village. This was all explained to the judge on Tuesday, and they said, this is an emergency. I said that I will talk to the trustees, and we'll get whatever needs to get done to make sure that the read-only and view-only access to the system is done immediately. So again, it goes back to Attorney Meza, based upon his conversations with Mayor Burgess, states that that can only be done through IT, that the village doesn't have an IT currently, that the village will have to get an IT company, and they'll have to approve the $1,500 or whatever the cost is to have the computer systems shut back on, or turn back on, rather. So I told the Judge, we're going to post a notice for an emergency meeting tomorrow, meeting yesterday. That's how crucial it is, and how this meeting should have been held yesterday, but couldn't because there was a committee meeting apparently going on, and I believe one of the trustees had a medical procedure, couldn't make it, therefore it was very likely we wouldn't have a quorum to hold this meeting like we are today. So it was continued to today at 11, the soonest time and date that we can get to post the agenda. Now, if anyone thinks that this does not constitute an emergency, that's their right. I completely disagree. But the forum that they have to follow is to file a letter to the Illinois Attorney General and ask for an opinion. And I welcome them to do that. I will respond in kind on behalf of the trustees, and we'll see what happens with that opinion. But we are here today to take action, the action that's on the agenda, to move forward, because I have to report back to the judge tomorrow on what the board did in its efforts to have the computer system back opened up for the consultants and all the board members to have full access to view the documents, the financials, and the various systems that the village uses. And for the record, I'm no IT person. I don't know how to operate a computer. I don't know do any software. So my terminology is very, very weak in that arena. But it is what it is. It was interesting last night after 10 p.m., around 10:15, I got a letter from Attorney Meza, and this was after multiple emails during the day questioning, why do we have to have this meeting? What's the emergency? Why can't we do this in January? Or let's do it next year some point. And I had stated the reasons in open court, and I stand by those reasons. But then he also included some emails. In his email to me last night at 10:15. If you bear with me. One attachment was a letter from Renee Lewis, dated December 18th of 2024, to Mr. Meza, questioning why there's an emergency meeting. There's discussion about IT companies. But what's telling is she's wrote that I am currently sending this email from Mary's computer due to being locked out of my email account. So that village staff, including people in important positions, they don't even have their own email here at the village to communicate with other department heads, to communicate with the elected officials, to communicate with the public. I've just never seen anything like this. She then brings up, the expenditures that are on today's agenda, and I'll get to those in a minute, but I believe that those expenditures completely fall in line with the emergency nature of this meeting. Another attachment to Mr. Meza's email included an official notice from an August 2024 meeting. I'm not sure why he included that or the agenda for the August 15th, 24 meeting. But also included is emails from AIC, and the gentleman from that company spoke during public comment. One email is dated Monday, November 25th, 2024, to the village, and they state, per our conversation, all passwords will be provided upon final payment. Thanks for your support. Another email from Stephen Mack to Mayor Burgess and Ken Johnson, dated October 25th, 2024. It's on a Friday. Mr. Mack writes, regrettably, AIC is standing down with providing IT services to Sauk Village and will withdraw from Monday's meeting called by Finance and HR. It's clear, based upon this attachment, that AIC withdrew and stopped working here at the village because they were not paid. And they were not paid for services that were done. I had asked one of your members to get information because, again, I'm not an IT person, on how it is done and how it's been done in the past to give the view-only or access to the village's computer system. I have a notarized letter from Anthony Finch, who explained in the past all that needed to be done is to ask the mayor or the village administrator for access, and those individuals had the ability to give access. So all this nonsense about we have to get IT and approve a payment, and there isn't an IT company currently, and so nothing can be done, to me was all a ruse that was brought forward to the judge on Tuesday, and I'm going to let the judge know what I found out, the documents that I received, and that there really wasn't a need to get an IT company to open up the My Viewpoint or the computer system to the trustees and the two consultants, typically. But now given these emails, because AIC is owed money, they're kind of holding back the passwords. So I believe that AIC is going to have to be paid to get the passwords. I'm not getting into the legality of withholding passwords, if they're able to do that or not, but let's just move forward. Let's get the passwords. Let's get them paid. Let me report to the judge tomorrow that 1, 2, 3, 4, these items were taken care of. Judge, we're ready to go. Judge, the consultants can start as soon as Monday to start reviewing the documents. They can report to the board on what they've seen. Again, they won't be able to tamper or change anything. You trustees can also go in and review the same documents. Now again, in the posture of trying to work out an agreed order, we did put in some limitations. I said, Judge, many of these trustees work. They have other obligations. We need to set certain dates and times for them to come in. I then learned during the hearing the other day that Ms. Jones has remote access, that people can have remote access. I was not aware of that. I brought that up. There was pushback from Mayor Burgess' attorney. So I took it that let's just try to work something out, get the ball rolling. Let's get a few days a week for a number of hours where at least there's some access, right? It's a lot better than what you all have had over the last 3.5 years. And it just needs to be done given the correspondence from the state of Illinois. So I believe clearly there's an emergency situation for this meeting. It's fully warranted. You see vendors that have appeared today to be paid for work that they have performed, including AIC. And if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to report all of this to the judge tomorrow, and I'll follow up with each of you with a memo. And as far as the litigation, it's going to move along. We are going to then have a hearing probably in January, February for the TRO. The mayor will have to respond and answer the complaint unless he persists with his motion to dismiss. And if he does, we'll deal with that accordingly.
Thank you, Attorney McGrath.
Thank you, Attorney McGrath. Are there any more public comments?
Well, no, that was over. This is just a report.
Okay, so yeah, we did close the public comment. Okay. All right, thank you. I just want to say one thing. According to our agenda, every item on our agenda as far as approving on accounts payable was covered by the Attorney McGrath today. In answer to the public comments is what I'm attempting to do. The only thing that really that's left as far as public comments to answer would be the question of invoices, and the only invoice that was not mentioned is the one that was presented here today. So we actually do have invoices for all of the vendors on this agenda. So every question was addressed very sharply from the Attorney McGrath. And so with that being said, we're going to move on to the agenda at hand.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem?
Sure.
I need just a moment. In my haste to start the meeting, I'm working two roles here, trustee and village clerk, and I've neglected to take the entire roll call. I need the record to reflect that Mayor Burgess is not present, village clerk Marvin Campbell Pruitt is not present, trustee Raven Johnson is not present, trustee Eugene Carter is not present, and that concludes the roll call. I'm sorry, I totally forgot that at the beginning. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda, discuss FYI 21 Sauk Village forensic audit. Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. We have discussed a few times throughout the past meetings how we feel that a forensic audit is necessary for fiscal year 2021. We did a forensic audit about 3 years ago, and this is the results and the findings and the work that was done with that audit. I have paperwork here to share with the trustees if we decide to move forward. In moving forward, we would need to have Attorney McGrath write up a resolution or an ordinance directing us to move forward. This is the company that we used the last time we did a forensic audit. It was Sickage. So I'm just bringing it to the table that after the first of the year, this is definitely something that we need to address. It's been recommended because there was no regular audit done, that we should still, and even if there is one in process, that we should still do a forensic audit. So I'm just bringing that to the table. This is the company we used. There's a lot of information in here about what they look for in a forensic audit, how thorough they are, and the findings that they have. So if anybody needs a copy of this, they can see me, and I'm going to make sure the board each has a copy. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. And I wanted to make
Trustee Burns.
Thank you. Mr. McGrath and even ourselves, we've talked about extensively that when you're doing audits, you need bank reconciliations and you need the paperwork and everything properly logged just in order for the auditors to do their jobs. And without that, without paperwork being logged, the auditors, they can't do their jobs. So again, whether it's forensic audit or the regular audits, the administration, the director of finance, that department is not doing the job in order for the auditors to do their job. We have these directors of finance, and people come here smiling and giggling and laughing. They should really be ashamed of themselves of putting our village and our residents in such a position of dire straits. You are hired here, and we are paying these people hundreds of thousands of dollars to do a job, and they think it's funny that they are putting us in a situation where now we are void and not going to get hundreds of thousands of dollars from the federal government. Now the Department of the Finance Department has put us in a situation where we will be responsible, you and I will be responsible for having to pay back $850,000+ because of our MFT funds. The attorney, listen you all, this is not a joke. This is serious. You all, we are paying these people to do a job for us. Which one of you could go on your jobs and do absolutely nothing and keep it? Who? We have to get serious about these people that is taking our tax dollars and us in this situation. We don't have services. We don't have anything. Our streets can't be repaired. Water hydrants not fixed. Lights blowing. Trash everywhere. And she got the nerve to say something back there, and she's the main one. MFT has, like the attorney just told all of us, MFT, IDOT has sent her many documents to get into their office so that we can get our money, and she doesn't do it, and she's got something to say. You don't have anything to say to us.
Burns, I got a lot to say.
You can get out. Point of order, ma'am. Point of order. Point of order, ma'am. Because you're not doing the job that you're hired and paid to do, ma'am. Point of order. Point of order. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm talking to my neighbors, the residents, and the vendors because of you and that department that's not doing their jobs. Period. And you all are, and the mayor and his administration will be called out. It's simple as that. Because they're putting us in a situation where we can't get out of.
Yes, can I have a police officer to the village hall, please?
So the bottom line is, you all,
the rotunda, and we need somebody to be here.
We're trying to pay these vendors because the work that they've done, We need to pay these vendors because we don't need the reputation. We have to hire other people. And if you have a reputation of not paying people, then people don't want to come. So we want to make sure that in good faith that we're letting our vendors know we do want to pay. And today we have called an emergency meeting to do just that. Now the rest is in that young lady's hand who just walked out of here because she's the director of finances. So once it leaves this vote, it goes into her hands. And that's what you all need to know. The buck stops with that finance department and the mayor. So if you don't get your money after today, you know why. And you're sitting here and you just witnessed it yourself. We have residents, Mr. David Fields, he gets us, David Smith, David Fields, they get up and they talk about us. But they don't talk about the non-work that woman and that department is not doing. They don't talk about what the mayor is not doing. They don't talk about the millions and millions of dollars that our village is losing because of the people that the mayor is hiring is not doing the job. They don't want to talk about any of that. They want to talk about us. They want to be personal. This is not personal. This is business. And I am a businesswoman and I'm handling business. But they want to run for office. You all better not put these people in these seats. If they don't care about you while they're residents, what the heck we think they're going to do if they're in these seats? Running for clerk and trustees. They don't want to handle the business now. Spread the word. We are about our business over here. And when they get up and attack your business, you all attack it back. Because this is your business. This is our money. And if you won't let nobody grab your wallet or purse and steal your money, that's what this is.
Trustee Burns?
So, again, I'm almost done, Mayor Pro Tem.
Just want to move along right quick.
I'm almost done, Mayor Pro Tem.
And we
Thank
want to
you.
stay within the scope of the
We're almost done, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you. So the bottom line is, the people need to know what is going on, and our attorney has given you a scope of the corruption that's going on here. And I, for one, am fed up with it. I don't know about any other trustee or any other resident, but as a trustee and a resident, I'm fed up. Now, if my passion is too strong for you, then I don't know what to tell you. But this is my money. I live here. And I don't have no time for this nonsense. So get busy and get serious about our money and our village. Stop complaining and let's get the job done. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is item 5, to approve accounts payable in the total amount of $466,150.
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
It was pointed out to me that one of these invoice amounts are in error. Mike, Attorney McGrath, can we change it before we take the vote, or should we still take the vote and then amend it later?
Is it for a larger amount?
It's for a larger amount, slightly, yeah, like $4,700.
I would approve, but that is
Okay.
difference for another.
We'll do it at another time. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Again, the motion is on the floor to approve accounts payable in the total amount of $466,150.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Burns and second by Trustee Williams. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Trustee Burns?
Yes.
Trustee Sapp? Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Coleman?
Yes. Motion carried. Item number 6. There's a motion to approve the village to provide full access to online banking, Paylocity, and Civic without the ability to make changes, including journal entries or adjustments. To OIG John Howard, Internal Auditor Anthony Finch, and the trustees Monday through Friday.
So moved.
It's been moved by Trustee Burns, second by Trustee Sapp. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Trustee Burns?
Yes.
Trustee Sapp? Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Coleman.
Yes. Motion carried. Item number 7, I will entertain a motion to move forward with the stipulations of the OIG contract and internal auditor ordinance.
So moved.
It's been moved by Trustee Burns, second by Trustee Sapp. Madam Clerk.
Trustee Burns.
Yes.
Trustee Sapp. Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Coleman.
Yes. Motion carried. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been moved by Trustee Burns and second by Trustee Sapp. Madam Clerk.
Trustee Burns.
Yes.
Trustee Sapp. Trustee Williams, yes. And Trustee Coleman.
Yes. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you
Thank you all.